Your city, your news. From the campus of the University of Nebraska at Omaha, this is the Omaha News. Brought to you by the students in the College of Communication, Fine Arts, and Media.
The Omaha City election primary is all over with. We'll wrap it up and look to the May ballot.
Also happening locally this hour, new strategies are being implemented to combat underage drinking. The details on that are coming up. Good afternoon, I'm Laura Goodburn.
And thanks for joining us. I'm Chase Moffitt. Omaha voters selected the candidates who will be on the May general ballot last night. 4 races were predetermined because there were only 1 or 2 candidates on the ballot, and they all advanced to the May election. 2 races had 4 or more candidates. As Bill Dixon reports from District 1 to District 7, the numbers for each individual election were relatively constant through the evening.
The action was fast and furious last night at the Douglas County Election Commission. Results from precincts all around the city poured in. While election supervisors counted the ballots, other candidates were celebrating their victories. In District 3, Chip Maxwell won 23% of the vote. In District 1, Pete Festerson won 68% of the vote. In District 4, Gary Gernant won 80% of the vote. Gene Stotthert won handily with 65% of the vote in District 5. And in District 7, Chuck Segerson ran unopposed with 93% of the vote. Brian Boucher came in second at 22.9%.
You know, I think this election, or this campaign so far, has it's been a great opportunity to meet the citizens here in Omaha, especially the citizens of District 3. I've been able to knock on over 5,500 doors, and for me, being able to talk face-to-face with that many voters has really been a very positive thing in my view.
One of the more interesting races was taking place in District 2. Incumbent Frank Brown is trailing former news reporter Ben Gray 39.5% to 39.8%. Ben Gray didn't mince words about Frank Brown.
We look forward to a spirited debate. We hope that he's not going to hide like he has in the past, because we want to have spirited debate, spirited discussion. We want to compare records in this particular race. We want to compare what he's done in the community versus what I've done in the community.
For the Omaha News, I'm Bill Dixon.
The Douglas County Election Commissioner Dave Phipps says voter turnout was lower than usual. He said 18% of registered voters participated yesterday, even lower than his earlier predictions. To get more results on the other candidates, visit votedouglascounty.com.
The Regency Lodge was home to Hal Dobbs' campaign party last night. Dobbs supporters were able to sound off on how they felt about the campaign while enjoying Dobbs' victory. Danny O'Connell was there and has this to report.
The Omaha mayoral race is now down to 2 candidates, one of which being Hal Dobbs. Those within the campaign feel that ideas are what got them this far.
We've been very scheduled and have a good strategy, a good campaign plan that we've implemented. We had regular press conferences to talk about not only the challenges but solutions to those issues so that the voters could understand that we had a campaign of ideas.
Those campaigning for Dobbs will only have a short time to do so before the election.
The primary to general election in this race, or in the municipal elections, is just a short 35 days. So tomorrow morning we hit the ground running.
The former Omaha mayor believes his record separates him from his opponent Jim Suttle.
My record of creating jobs for our citizens, my record of lowering your city property taxes, and my record of fighting crime is the right combination to move Omaha forward.
With the results favoring Hal Dobbs, he said the next month is going to be hard work. But those within the campaign say that they're up for the challenge. For the Omaha News, I'm Danny O'Connell.
An estimated crowd of 200 people joined Hal Dobbs last night to celebrate his victory in the primary. Dobbs received 36% of the vote compared to Jim Suttle's 33%. Jim Bokel was eliminated from the running with 29%.
Mayoral candidate Jim Suttle says the people of Omaha are looking for a fresh face in the mayor's office. And with Suttle winning the second candidate slot in the general election, he might be right. Ashley Gress has the story.
a shot at becoming Omaha's next mayor.
Tonight, the voters have clearly indicated that they want a new face in the mayor's chair at City Hall.
Friends, family, and followers gathered at Club Patrick's to support Suttle's bid for mayor.
So rather than talk about the past, let's plan a course, a journey together as we seek the future and make this city great. We deserve to be great, and we are great because you're great.
Even though Hal Dobb beat Suttle in the primary election, Suttle's communications director, Dave Sund, says the race isn't over.
I think tonight's results pretty well demonstrate that Hal Dobb doesn't have the support he thought he had among the people of Omaha, and we're going to prove that in May. We're going to keep continuing to work hard for the next 5 weeks to make sure that Jim Suttle is the next mayor of Omaha.
Suttle remains confident that the people of Omaha are looking for a new start with a new face.
Over 60% have said they want a new face for the future, not an old face from the past.
Suttle got second place behind Hal Dobb in the primary election, propelling him to the general election. On May 12th, we'll find out who's the next mayor of Omaha. For the Omaha News, I'm Ashley Grass.
Suttle says he plans to jump right back into planning his campaign strategy for the general election on May 12th.
Former City Councilman Jim Vogel was Hal Dobb's toughest competition for the Republican vote. Jim Vogel, who was Omaha City Council's youngest president, threw his hat in last night's primary with unfortunate results. Christina Engdahl spent the night at the Vogel campaign gathering and is live from the newsroom with more. Christina?
Thanks, Chase and Laura. Last night, every media outlet in Omaha, including the Omaha News, packed into the William H. Thompson's Alumni Center on the UNO campus to await Jim Vogel's fate. The question of the night, would the advertisements that the Omaha Police Officers Union air affect Jim Vogel's mayoral aspirations, or would his followers band together and pull out a victory?
Just after 7 p.m. last night, Jim Vogel, along with his wife and 2 children, arrived on UNO's campus. Although Vogel was faced with much opposition, both he and his supporters were confident that his months of hard work would pay off. The night's first numbers from the Douglas County Commissioner's Office projected Vogel in 3rd place, and unfortunately 3rd place is where he remained the entire night, meaning that Vogel will not receive his spot on this May's mayoral ballot.
Went great, obviously, until the end. Feel very proud about our strategy, and we did a good plan.
Although the night ended in disappointment, Vogel was grateful for the overwhelming support he received from both his family and the Omaha community.
It's made it worthwhile despite losing today, and I'll always remember this race.
Even Vogel's former college mates came out to support him.
It's great to see the support he's had. It's kind of cool to see your friend and all the good things he's doing around the city and all the people that respond to that.
Even though Vogel won't be up for mayor this May, his supporters agree that this won't be the last you've seen of Jim Vogel.
When we finally managed to chase down Mr. Vogel, he told us his wife was very upset about the night's loss, leaving him very little time to speak with us. In the meantime, in the time that we did have with him, we asked him what his future plans were, to which he responded, quote, "I don't know." For the Omaha News, reporting live, this has been Christina Engdahl.
Thanks, Christina. To learn more about Vogel or to view his former campaign advertisements, log on to his website, jimvogel.org.
Jim Vogel has given his support to fellow Republican Hal Dobb in the May election. In a news conference this afternoon, Vogel said he's not supporting Hal Dobb because he's a Republican, because he thinks that Hal Dobb is the best man for the job.
If you combine the Dobb and Vogel votes from yesterday's election, it would give Dobb a 13,000 vote edge over Jim Suttle. However, voter turnout in May is expected to be double yesterday's total, and that would mean an additional 50,000 to 60,000 votes up for grabs.
After a couple of down days, Wall Street picked up a little bit. Taking a look at the stock market on this Wednesday afternoon, the Dow closed just over 22 points. The Nasdaq closed up 20 points, and the S&P closed up just over 5 points.
With younger and younger women becoming sexually active earlier, concerns are raised about their sexual health.
Experts say the talk should be given to children at an earlier age. When we come back, we'll show you what women should do to keep themselves healthy. You're watching the Omaha News on the Knowledge Network.
UNO Television.
Students work with professionals who have all kinds of experience in the industry.
Lights, camera, action. Literally.
Get paid while you learn more about the TV business.
Work on all kinds of productions.
My friends who worked on TV crew last semester are now working part-time at local stations.
Working on TV crew is a great experience.
UNO Television. Student crew, professional staff, award-winning results.
Most local television news only gives you brief headlines about issues that may be important to you. But for more than 10 years, only one program has remained dedicated to examining all the information about issues that really matter to Nebraskans. I'm Kathy Wyatt, and it's my privilege to present those issues for your consideration. Join me on the campus of UNO in a program we call Consider This, every week on the Knowledge Network.
College students are faced with a hectic schedule when they start school. For some, it may be a tough stretch of classes, while for others, it just might be a slew of extracurricular activities that consumes most of their time. It still remains important to not forget about the health and well-being of students, especially college-age men. Most of the current rhetoric surrounding health concerns women, and it's important for men to maintain healthy lifestyles as well. It gets discussed when they get older. It gets mentioned along with other current health talks. Men's health for college students. Nurse Marcia Alder explains.
They probably know more what the pressure in their tires on their car is and how much oil's in their car and get their oil changed than they would even have any idea what their blood pressure is, what their cholesterol level is, what they really need to sustain themselves.
Alder explains that men's health is founded on common sense, but because of this, the topic tends to get swept under the rug.
In our world, we don't give men's health much time, much thought. We do a lot with women's health because it's tied to birth control, it's tied to wellness and all that sort of thing, and so men kind of get shuttled off to the side. But their health is probably even more important than we ever give it credit for.
Credit is needed because, according to Alder, it's the decisions we make now that will affect our health longevity tomorrow. From eating right to maintaining a regular exercise schedule, it's important that men take their health seriously, especially at the college age.
One of the key things is they need them to give themselves permission to eat 3 meals a day, like start with breakfast, like eat fruits and vegetables. And I know that sounds like your grandma talking, but the reality is men wind up grabbing Hershey bars or Snicker bars on their way to class. They wind up drinking Red Bull.
It is these habits that college-age men get into now that determine their health risks tomorrow. But it's also this proactive attention that men can give themselves and to their health in order to ensure a few extra years down the road. Now we apologize, that's Nurse Marcia Adler, who is explaining that health problems in men that when they experience that down the road are due to a lack of conscious efforts in maintaining a healthy lifestyle right now. The obvious smoking and drinking contribute to these bad behaviors of current students. However, Adler says it can also be long hours of sitting in a lecture, sitting in front of a computer, or general immobility. As men, we are encouraged to feed our bodies healthy choices as much as we feed our brains healthy facts during these college years.
Women, listen up. Your cervical health might not be on the top of your mind, but it is something you should be thinking about. More and more women are being affected by this disease and they don't even know it. Cervical health is more important than most women think. A pelvic exam is the first step in keeping your cervix healthy.
Pap smear recommendations changed a few years ago, where women now typically had the idea that they should have an annual exam with pap smear. The recommendation now is for those women who are under age 30, who've been sexually active for at least 3 years, then they should have annual pap smears.
The pelvic exam includes a pap smear.
The pap smear, or Papa Nicolau smear, is a screening test for cervical premalignant changes as well as cervical cancer.
At your yearly exam, you are screened for HPV. The human papillomavirus is detected in 90% of abnormal cell cases.
A lot of people are not aware of HPV.
The human papillomavirus is more common than most people are aware of.
75 to 80% or more of the adult population is eventually exposed to human papillomavirus. It is a sexually transmitted warrant virus.
So what's next if you do have abnormal cells?
When we evaluate women who have abnormal pap smears, we do a procedure called a colposcopy, which uses a magnification scope, and we look at the cervix.
About 2% of the total 10% of abnormal cell cases require further attention and possible procedures.
A LEEP, which uses an electrocautery loop wire, which gives you a little bit more precision. That loop wire has the ability to cut through tissue and coagulate small blood vessels, so you can hopefully remove a smaller portion of cervix.
Dr. Sensel says that men are at risk for HPV as well. If they are informed by their sexual partner that they have had HPV show up on a pap smear, he needs to see a doctor immediately. For more information on cervical exams and HPV, visit acog.org.
What the state calls a tip line for underage drinking has become something of a hotline, lighting up with reports of adults, retailers, and teenagers violating alcohol laws. Nebraska introduced the tip line 1866 must be 21 about 3 months ago. So far, more than 100 tips have been called in, alerting to law enforcement of parties where minors are drinking, adults who have bought liquor for teens, and retailers who are suspected of selling to underage buyers. To learn more about the underage drinking tip line, you can log on, and you can also report at underagedrinking.com.
The Maverick baseball team is hitting fast ones out of the ballpark. With 12 games to go, the Mavs are going strong with hopes of a postseason appearance.
When we come back, we'll show you how one member of the team is giving his all towards this season. You're watching the Omaha News on the Knowledge Network.
Hi, I'm Meshach Taylor, actor and public television supporter, encouraging you to become a fan of UNO Television. Located on the University of Nebraska at Omaha campus, UNO Television is a unit of the College of Communication, Fine Arts, and Media. Student crew members are trained and placed in broadcasting positions that give them real-world experience. Many students move seamlessly into jobs within the local television market. UNO Television, student crew, professional staff, award-winning results.
Breathtaking, electrifying, inspiring. Award-winning documentaries produced by UNO Television offer you a window on the history of Omaha and the world. Beginning with the acclaimed 2-hour documentary on the history of Omaha, If These Walls Could Speak, UNO Television has developed a reputation for producing high-quality programs that explore, educate, and enlighten. These outstanding productions can be part of your home video collection. For information about purchasing VHS or DVD copies, call 554-2516 or visit our website at unotv.unomaha.edu.
Cox connects and proudly supports the UNO Women's Walk.
Hi, I'm Michelle Roberts, Senior Women Administrator for UNO Athletics, inviting you to attend the 24th Annual Diet Pepsi UNO Women's Walk on April 18th. Your participation raises scholarship money for female student athletes at UNO. More information at omavs.com or 554-2533. We'll see you April 18th on the UNO campus for the Diet Pepsi UNO Women's Walk.
Proudly supported by Cox.
The UNO football team will finish off its 2009 spring practice season with the annual spring game. The game will be this Saturday, April 11th at 1 p.m. at Caniglia Field on the UNO campus. The event is free and open to the public. Head coach Pat Behrens and his staff have been running the Mavericks through training since mid-March. The Mavs will host an Easter egg hunt before the game, sponsored by Cox Communications and Shopko. Children 12 and under can begin to register at 11 a.m. The hunt begins at noon.
After a slow start, the Maverick baseball team has been red hot as of late. Winners of 13 of their last 14 games. Freshman Joe Holtmeyer has led the way on the mound for the Mavs, sporting a 1.77 ERA through 8 appearances. Junior Andrew Hansen leads the team with a .421 average. The UNO Mavs will take on Northwest Missouri State this Friday at 1 p.m. at the ballpark at Boys Town.
Brandon Dahl has seen his shares of up and downs throughout his baseball career, but nothing compares to what he's dealt with away from the diamond. Matt Santamaria has our continuing coverage.
Whether it's just playing catch in the backyard or nailing down another Mav win in the ninth, Brandon Dahl is just happy to be playing the game he loves. 4 years ago, a serious injury left his life in danger and his future in the game in serious doubt.
Me and a buddy were moving some pane glass windows. He pushed it. We were pushing out of woodwork, and it broke in half, and the top half came down to my ankle. It went down to my bone. Lost all the feeling in the top of my foot. My range of motion isn't there. They gave me 4 minutes to live with all my blood loss, so it was a pretty traumatic injury.
One that Dahl says he couldn't have overcome without the support of his loved ones.
I had a lot of good friends in high school telling me, you know, my teammates were there right along with me. My coaches supported me. It was pretty easy coming back. I mean, it was hard. The therapy was hard, but it makes it a lot easier when you got people supporting you.
This is the location where 4 years ago, Brandon's life changed forever. And while he hasn't been back since, his return to the mound has given the Mavs stability on the field and inspiration off of it. For the Omaha News, I'm Matt Santamaria.
Through 39 games, Brandon leads the Mavericks with 4 saves. To find a full listing of games for the rest of the season, log on to omavs.com.
Interested in animation? We'll show you how a company in Omaha is putting its name in the mix for animation studios.
When we come back, we'll show you where you can find a place to improve your animation skills. You're watching the Omaha News on the Knowledge Network.
Only one program has remained dedicated to examining all the information on issues that really matter to Nebraskans. Watch Consider This, a program produced by UNO Television to give you more information than your typical newscast.
Watch ICU Learning English on the Knowledge Network, Cox 17 and Quest 74.
Hey Maverick fans, keep up with the scores and activities of all your favorite Mavericks. Go to omavs.com to check the Mavs scoreboard and get the latest news about all the Maverick teams. Get live stats from the games you just can't make and read about all the action when the game is done. Check out the events calendar, sign up for text messages, or download a Maverick podcast. You can even order the coolest Maverick merchandise. You'll find it all at omavs.com. Go Mavs!
Well, are you smiling yet? You should be. According to the Mainstream.com's Happiness Index, Nebraska is the happiest state in the nation. Warmer states such as California, Florida were found at the bottom of the list. Even states with more recreational things to do weren't anywhere near the top of the list. Iowa is ranked second as the happiest state in the nation. The Happiness Index is based on 3 indicators, all of which are economic.
In these rough economic times, it's tough to start your own business, but one local entrepreneur has just opened shop. What's he selling? Creativity. Tone Doan has more.
You may look at the scene and think you're looking at a normal suburban neighborhood, but if you take a closer look, you'll see there's more to this than meets the eye. Located in his father's basement, Ben Vu runs a small animation studio called Skyvu Pictures.
Skyvu Pictures is an animation studio that's based out of Omaha, Nebraska, and we have a studio in Singapore, and we have a studio in Vietnam as well.
While running your own business is hard enough, Ben has found time to even help students who are interested in the animation field improve on their skills.
Well, I've learned a lot about the programs I'm using because in school we only learn like that much about it, and then Ben showed me just yesterday actually you can do like that much more with it.
I've learned a lot more on the programs that, like, I know the Adobe programs, and I'm learning Cinema 4D, which is totally different than the 3D program that we learn at UNO or Metro. So
Right now, as you can see, Skyvu's office is located in Ben's father's basement, but he hopes in the future that will soon change.
I want Skyvu Pictures to be one of the best animation studios in the world, and I want our animated characters and stories to be distributed around the world.
And what advice do the interns have for those who are interested in getting started?
Go to school.
Go to school. That really helps because when you're at school you meet teachers and students who know people in the industry and they can help you get an internship.
For the Omaha News, I'm Tone Doan.
Ben is currently seeking an intern producer and an animation artist. For more information, you can visit Ben's website at skyvu.net.
A fundraiser will be held next Wednesday to help support the American SIDS Foundation. This event will be held at Champions Run, located at 13800 Eagle Run Drive from 5 p.m. to 8 p.m. This fundraiser is a fashion show with real estate executives as models. The fashion show is dedicated in memory of almost 2-month-old Braden Skillings, who died last October of sudden infant death syndrome. His mother, Michelle Skillings, is with CBS Home Real Estate and is organizing the event.
Next week, we'll give you our team coverage on this year's tax day.
And we'll also give you a report on how to keep up on organic foods. And as a reminder, you can catch our web extras at our website at theomahanews.com.
And for all of us here at the Omaha News, thanks for watching and have a good evening.
Take a look at UNO and you'll find a school that can pretty much be everything to everyone. We have that big city feel and a sense of community that creates a close, friendly campus. Our professors and resources contribute to our great reputation in the city and the region. So whether you're just starting out, transferring, earning a degree online, or choosing a new path in life, you'll be able to find what you want.